Hi, class. Before we get together tomorrow to discuss multiplication, I want you to think a little bit about multiplication and what you might use it for. I know as an adult, I use it all the time. When I go to the grocery store and I need to determine how much of something I need, I may be using multiplication at that time. A nurse might use it to determine how many pills she should have on hand. A cattle farmer might determine whether or not he wants to sell his cattle based on the price and how much a calf weighs. So we use multiplication all the time in our jobs. The the lunch lady uses it to determine how much food to buy every day for the lunches. So why do we multiply instead of doing addition? Well, it's a lot quicker to do multiplication than it is to do repeated addition. Maybe not so much when you're talking about just, two packages of hot dogs where it's 12 plus 12. But when you're doing really large numbers, numbers that you'll be doing in fourth grade, but we'll sort of preview them in third grade. Let's say 86 times 7, it's going to be a lot easier for us to know our multiplication facts to do that than for us to do repeated addition of 86 plus 86 plus 86 plus 86, etc. Also, because we know those facts and we're not doing so much um, calculations in our head, we're going to make less mistakes. So what is the multiplication factors that our multiplication vocabulary that we're going to be using? Well, we're going to use factors, and factors are the problem part of a um, multiplication sentence. So uh, let's say 2 times 6 equals 12. It's the 2 and the 6 that are the factors. Products are the same as the answers. It's the multiplication version of sum. Multiples, that's sort of like skip counting, that the multiples of a number is what we would chant if we were going to skip count. For instance, the multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. So it's just like we're doing skip counting. Arrays, well, I'm going to wait to talk about arrays until Wednesday. We're going to be doing a lot of work with arrays. But we also want to think of multiplication as being groups of something. Let's say table groups, 6 table groups of 4, or sets of something. We have, 3 sets of markers, each with 10 markers in them. So we can think of multiplication as being groups of something or sets of something. We can easily do some multiplication, such as if a dog has 4 legs, most dogs do, but not all, and we have 3 dogs, how many legs do we have to have all together? This might be more useful if we're trying to maybe do horses and we need to know how many horseshoes we should have on hand. We could do repeated addition, like 4 plus 4 plus 4, but we can also just use multiplication. Here's a more practical way that you might do it. Let's say Claire was going to give a party and she was going to give a pretty big party for her lacrosse team. She knows that in our backyard we can set up 6 tables and each table can hold 6 different lacrosse players. And she wants to know, does she have enough room for all of her lacrosse teammates? So we could do repeated addition, 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, get up to 48. But if she knows her multiplication table, she could also just say 6 tables with 8 people on each table would be room for 48 players. Some of the other key multiplication words are things like times, like 3 times 4. Or I might use the number or the term twice. Twice is the same as saying 2 times something. Or if I'm going to triple a number, I'm going to multiply it by 3. I Instead of saying twice, I also might say double that number. Um, Doubling is the same as repeated addition, doing repeated addition twice. So that's about as much as we're going to cover today, but I want you to think about how we group things. Tomorrow we'll be doing a big chart on how we group different things in our lives.